I sit and discuss the journey of self. Hi, my name is Sally Barnard, an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer. Welcome to Call Me Zena, a true story into the spiritual realms. Join me as I sit and discuss the journey of self-discovery and awakening with the help of my spirit guides. It's time to trust your intuition. This is your inner knowings. Through questions and points of conversation, I can help others feel empowered. With the ability to touch people's past lives, I help others connect and not feel alone. Sit with me and call in live, 888-994-4995. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. It's Monday at 2:30, so I'm happy. I'm sitting here and I'm ready to answer questions. I do know from the studio audience here, I have quite a few questions that you all guys are waiting to hear my response. So here we go from here on in. Whoever wants to go first, please give me a question. Whoever, it doesn't matter. Just give me the question. Okay, Steve, I'm going to open it up to you.
All
My
right,
husband
Sally,
is here today.
Sally, you know, we're heading a little bit north tomorrow, and at the end of the week, we're going to be in Washington, D.C., and the home of, monuments to our forefathers. And I was wondering, as we're going to be standing in front of Abraham Lincoln at the Lincoln Memorial, if you can think what Abraham Lincoln might be thinking about what's going on in the world today.
I think that he's not too happy right now, okay? A lot is going on in the world today, but he is on the other side, which I call the veil. So they're more privy to what is actually going on than what we know. So, yeah, we have to change our ways here. And we talk about that, Steve, quite a bit. Unfortunately, we need to wake up a little bit to what's happening. All we have to do right now is just listen to the news of these unbelievable temperatures that we're getting. This is not a good thing. I'm not the voice of doom. I'm here to give motivation to people. Something is going on. It's our answer. What's happening when we listen to the news? We hear horrific things, but let's just talk about the weather. We need to take note of this. There's obviously people deny global warming, but at this point in time, how can we? It's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. We need to rely on people that understand this to do the things that they ask us to do that will hopefully cool the weather. I mean, it's not good. So in answer to the question, he's not too happy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sally, I think God is angry. I really do. This is why everything's happening. From the environment and the way that everything is going in the world.
Sandy, I understand what you're saying, but I can't honestly say that, let's say God is unhappy. It's what we make of it, just to make sure that people understand that. We have a responsibility here. We all came to planet Earth. I believe there are many different planets, okay, but I don't expect our viewers necessarily to understand that, as I did many years ago. But it's not, we need to take note that actually our planet is giving us, Earth is giving us messages. It's up to us. We can save this planet. We can. And if I can spread this message, and it's a good theme for today, actually, in order to save this planet, we need to see what's going on. You know, and maybe I'm guilty too. You know, they talk about putting things in the right, when we go and people are coming to empty our garbage, we put it in the right places. However, if we can save this environment, what we're doing here, it's really, really important. We're burning a lot of stuff into the atmosphere, and we need to take note of that.
That's a very minute bunch of people. You've got the whole world that's...
well, it's not just us, it's the whole world, as you say. Right. But hopefully, if I can just give a little bit of this message, let's try to save the planet. Because without this planet, we're not here.
Sally?
Yes.
Well, we talk about let's try to save the planet, and this is all words. Let's just go over each other. How are you doing? Like, let's start, for instance, with me. I consume very little. I don't buy plastic. I don't waste plastic. like how individually are you mindful about things that you are, like how you go about each day mindfully?
That's a beautiful.
How you
yeah.
pay what you pay attention. Our attention is our what's the word?
It's one
Whenever-
person at a time, Lola, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Whenever you put attention to what news you're watching, what are you consuming, what food you're consuming, we have to be mindful, not just talking about, okay, let's save the planet. How are we going to do this?
Perfect, and I
Like,
love what you
for
said.
instance, I can fly so somebody invite me, let's go to Europe. And I question, for me, flying to Europe just to entertain myself, I'm going to use gasoline. And I say, no, this is mindless of me just to go and travel around just like that. So kind of like little by little, how you dispose your garbage,
By
what you eat.
can I just, in answer to your question, is by making people aware, because not everybody understands that. And what you said was a great question. I thank you for that
So in
question.
other words, I want people to inquire within, how individually are you doing this to save the planet?
Well, if each and every one of us, and that's a lot to hope, because there are people, not everybody's listening to this program either, if we just play our part here to maybe not go the further distance in a car that we don't necessarily need that's burning gas, we need to be very aware of this. The planet Earth is actually, Gaia, as I call Earth, is telling us, hey, you can tell by these extreme weather right now. We've not had this. I think I just heard on the news, and I don't listen to the news that much, but I need to know what's going on, is that the last 4 or 5 highs of what we've achieved are unbelievable. It's ridiculous temperatures. The Earth is trying to convey to us the way that it can. Let's stop this. I can't claim that I know exactly what we should and shouldn't do, but I know that we're heading in the wrong direction.
Yeah, we are.
So if people would just maybe research what maybe they shouldn't do, if each and every one play a part in this, we might hopefully save this planet. But it's not good right now. And you know
never
my
gonna
message is
happen.
always positive, but I
Never
have
gonna
to
happen.
explain that.
We got too many people in the world that don't care.
What, I'm sorry.
You have too many people in the world that don't care. It's never going to happen.
Well, yes, that's true. And that's why I'm sitting here right now, too. Because hopefully, whoever is listening, it's a dominoes effect. So what I am explaining, and I haven't, by all means, all the answers, but if I can give my message out to let's save this planet, if whoever is listening says to someone else, for every one person, they may have 4 or 5 friends that they can pass this message on. Let's save the planet, because we are heading, unfortunately, into a destruction eventually. I don't know if it's 100 years, 200 years, that I don't know. But we need to stop right now doing some of the things that we're doing. That was a good question, and I like that.
And also, I would like to add that if we are incarnated in this vessel, in this journey to awaken, and if we're not, some people can choose the path of being lazy and mindless, but this is not going to help in your next journey, in your next incarnation. So I invite people to kind of inquire into this topic and start really like clearing up the karmic journey, so the next journey will be in a better place for them as well.
Perfect, Lola. I love that. And the fact that we, even just the 2 of us, have met each other here, we have the same mission. This isn't coincidental, and it's not just us. There are many people that are on this path that will attract more and more people. That's what we're trying to do. Basically, we're trying to wake people up so that they understand what's happening. It's not an easy task, as you know, Lola, too. It's not. But if we can pass it on to one person and they can pass it on to 3 or 4, we will tip that balance. Right now, we're not in balance. We're not in balance, as I know you understand that. And we need to kind of make the balance here and then go into more of what we're meant to be doing here. It's not easy. It's a long, tedious journey, but we need to do it. We need to wake more people up to what we're doing. Because, and again, just to make this more positive, we don't we keep coming back. I believe very much in reincarnation, but let's save what we've got here. It's very important. Earth is actually, from what I have learned, an experiment. People are watching us. We have all the tools. Let's work with the tools that we have. Let's save this planet Earth. It's worth saving. Does that make sense to you? Lola, I'm talking directly to you, actually.
Yes,
'cause I know
yes,
that you
but even
understand.
the like alternative energy, I've read that this solar power on the roofs of our houses, that if, let's say, hurricane hits and it's broken, to dispose this roof, it has this toxic material. So you're not able to dispose these materials because they have mercury, they have so much poison in those roofs. So this is another thing. We need
Yeah.
to create something else. I mean, we can fly to the moon and back, and we cannot figure out how to get rid of all this.
I actually love your line of
toxic-
questioning here. And we actually have been, let's say we're fortunate that we've met one another, because together, and we need many more people, but we are making a little bit of a difference here, Lola. And I know you know that, because we've become very friendly here. From being at the Brooklyn Cafe, we met each other. And this is not coincidental, because we pass on through the airways, through whatever it is, we meet each other, but we need to get together and we need to form what I would call a bond to save Earth. It's really, really important. I had no idea that this line of questioning was going to happen, but I believe it's very important. Let's save Earth. It's really important.
And not wanting
you.
to debate or politicize this topic at all, but you or I or Lola, as individuals, we can do what we feel we can do, but unless the governments of the entire world come together
Perfect.
and make policy to prevent this planet from exploding, there's no progress that will be made just by you and you and you.
You are absolutely correct, Steve. And I don't believe, I always say, as you know, nothing is coincidental. This program is really important, and this topic is really important. No, but we can send out, as I would say, like I'm doing now to the airwaves, send positive vibrational energy. Can I tell you that it's going to be positive ending? I don't know the answer. But all I know is that we need to remain positive. We need to protect this planet the best that we, each and every one of us, the best that we know, that we're pulling our part into what we're meant to be doing here. And hopefully the outcome will be good. I don't have all the answers, but it's important that we know that our planet is in peril, let's say. That's the word I'm getting. But we can change that. My message on this show is always positive. So let's say, yes, we're at a crossroad here. Let's take the road of not destruction, but of saving Earth. We're right there right now. Let's save this world. It's a great topic. I'm glad that we're talking about it. I had no intention of doing this, but it's the way it's meant to be.
I can only hope that my next time around, I come back to a better Earth.
Well, yes, because we're not only our children or our grandchildren, we're also doing it for us. Because I believe very much in reincarnation, as you know. We're coming back. I want to still choose Earth. I believe I'm a very old soul here on Earth. This is my home. I want to come back to a good environment, as many of us do. It's not the end when we pass. We transition, which I have mentioned many times. But this is my home. This is where I feel comfortable right now. Let's make it a better place. Just this little message that I'm giving out is going to just maybe a few people, but it's important, because let them pass it on to somebody else, and then someone else, and we'll play our part. Let's play our part that's important here to save Earth. They do tell us what helps, so let's stop this heat coming in. It's really ridiculous. Thank you. We can do another line of questioning if anybody has something. I know that you have a few questions.
Yes.
Hi.
Mine's is more career related.
Okay.
So I'm in a position where do I stay or do I go kind of thing. Where I work right now, it's good for the money, but it's really affecting my happiness. So I just want to know, like, is there something different or a better position?
Okay, you have the answers. You know, you may, if you're not happy where you are, but the money is good, let's balance that out, okay? Think about this. Be careful with your choices. I'm hearing that too. Be very careful with your choices. But the fact that you mentioned that money is important, but
Yeah.
it's not everything. You need to be very happy where you're going, because that will also, in the end, bring you more money, if that makes sense. That's one of my guides that says that. Is that making sense? So think about this. Don't leave where you are or what you're doing, but go with caution, but follow your intuition, okay? And as you are, and you're aware of that, follow your intuition.
Okay, thank you.
Follow your heart.
Okay, anybody here?
Off the question, I asked you.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi. My guide, can you tell me who it is again?
As you know, once I'm in this trance, I don't remember what I say. So your name of your guide, I don't know how clearly it was relayed to you, but I feel, you see, we have many guides from what I know, okay? This particular guide actually happens to be a lady right now that I'm feeling very strongly, and her name is Sylvia. Do you know anyone called Sylvia?
No.
Okay, you may not always be aware, because it could be from another lifetime, but you have a Sylvia around you, okay? Oh my gosh, this is coming through so strong for me, okay? She's guiding you. It may not be the message that I gave you, because I don't also remember what I'm saying, but Sylvia is here, and she's going, I'm her guide, okay? She's your guide, who is actually, what is happening is she's talking to the other people that are your guides, but if you want to call her your main guide, remember that name, Sylvia. So if you have a question or anything that you want answered, say, hi, Sylvia, I'm here. This name is coming very strongly to me, okay? You don't necessarily have had to know her from this lifetime, but she is around you. Remember that. It's important that she's telling me to tell you, remember that. You will hear some things with the name Sylvia.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
It's not a question. I want to share my recent experience or lucid dream. So I was coming out of my dream, and I was laying on my bed, and there were like cottonish, very soft arms went under my body and raised me into this blissful whiteness, into this bliss, pure. I don't know if it's color, it was color or not, but the feeling is unforgettable, and it was just so blissful, like it was another world. I can explain it. It's mind-boggling, the whole experience. So I don't know, how would you interpret something
Okay,
like this?
I'm not necessarily going
It's-
to interpret because you can do that, but what I'm telling you is that they were lifting you up. If that rings a bell with you, so to speak, they're telling me to ask you that, into, it's not even another dimension. They were lifting you up to what you can, so much that you are doing here in this lifetime. This is what I'm hearing. You have so much to offer, Lola, here. It's not coincidental that we met here. We only met, what, maybe 6 weeks ago? I don't know. But our connection was great, because nothing is coincidental at this point. So they're lifting you up into, I normally would say a dimension, but it's an awakening somewhere on earth here, okay? Does that make sense to you?
It was
Do you
pure bliss. You can't describe this.
I'm sorry, can you just...
It was pure bliss. The
Absolutely.
feeling was so blissful. It's not of this world. It's
Absolutely.
It's nothing that you can describe with a limited words.
That's a perfect way to describe it, because we say it's not of this world, yet you're experiencing in this world. So you've lifted yourself up to where we are in this dimension, but it's for you to carry on with what you're doing. And you know that. You create fantastic art and everything that you're doing. It's not going unnoticed. They're telling you that because you have reached a different level. Yes, you have reached other dimensions, and we know that too. But this is for this dimension here. Continue very much with what you're doing, and that's what they're telling me, okay? Because although people may not realize it, but you're lifting their awareness, the word is awareness, up to that there is much more through your art for what you are able to do. So carry on, which I know you're going to anyway, but carry on with what you're doing.
It was divine. It was pure.
Yes, and that's how you're meant to feel, so that
source,
you spread this message on. Thank you, Lola.
Sally.
Hi, Josh.
How's it going?
It's going good.
I don't know if you have, like, if you can give me a message or a positive, I guess, positive words of the week or something like
Okay.
that.
What I'm going to ask of you so that I can continue with this, ask me a question and they will give you the answer, because they're around you, Josh, as you know. But if there's a specific question that you need to know the answer to, you don't have to go into detail, but just put it into a question. They're asking me to ask.
No, it's just, I mean, it's been a lot this past couple of weeks, so I'm a little mentally fatigued right now. How can I work that out?
Rest. That's very important. They're telling me to rest, to tell you to rest, because you have this and you understand this, but sometimes we can become overloaded with it, actually. And that's actually, and I think you can relate to this, and this is what's happening. And also, it's very important for me to tell you can't help everybody. Does that make sense to you?
Okay.
One person at a time. So as you are helping someone because you're able to, and this is who you are, okay, with immediate family, they're telling me, go slowly with this. Create an idea of what may be good for them. You can only tell the person what to do. You can't make that. This is important. This is coming to me. You can't make that person do what you're telling them. But if you make them aware of it, and only you're going to understand this, this will help them understand that. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Good. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Sally.
You're welcome.
I'd like to briefly respond to this young lady's question from before about career path. Just so you know, it wasn't until I was 50 years old till I found the right career path for myself, and it wasn't until I was 62 that I understood how to follow that career path to its best advantage. So my advice to you is don't wait until you're 50 like I did, because that's why I'm still working at 73. Look for what's in front of you. Take a little bad with the good. It's, if you can contribute and earn a living and raise a family, then go with that.
Okay, that was good advice, Steve, and I thank you for presenting that to you. But we're all on just, and I'm not contradicting anything you said because that was great advice, but we all have within us a journey that we're on. And truthfully, coming from me too, and I could say, this is my path, but I only started later on in life. I may not have necessarily, this is what they're telling me to tell you or anybody that's thinking that way, we may not be ready. And you know that as much as I do, because how we met later in life. So we all have a different path. Obviously, if we learn earlier on that we start our career like in our 20s or 30s, that's great. But if it should happen later on in life, that's okay too, because we're on our own path. I only opened up to this later on in life. Was it there? Yes, but I wasn't aware of it. I would not change my path today. And I was selling. I was in sales before that, which actually helped me into understanding who I am now. So we're each on an individual journey. So my advice on that is to ask yourself, am I ready? Should I continue with what I want? And if you're feeling that everything is not ready at that time, try again in a few more years. It's up to us. We actually have the answers. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
That was really good advice.
That's a certain guide that comes through for me when I say, does that make sense? I have to honor that guide. I do not know his name or her, but they always end up with, does that make sense? So they were there right now.
Commercial break?
Yes. Okay, we're ready for a commercial break. I'll see you in a few minutes on the other side of this. Thank you. This world, this life, this illusion. What is going on, we ask? What is happening? Why not take time and see what is happening? This world as we know it, it seems so real and yet so far away from where we've come. Corruption, greed, anger, power, revenge. Please wake up. We can change what is around us. How, we may ask? Learn to go back to where we were. Then we will have the clues. Then we can change and go forward. Please take the time. Do not fall into the game which we have put upon ourselves. We can change. We can make a difference. We have the power, each and every one of us. Go in peace. Go with love. Go as one. Zena.
A true story, Call Me Zena is the telling of Sally Barnard. Born in London, England at the end of the Second World War, she came to the U.S. in 1979. A mother of 2 and grandmother of 4, she settled in Florida and worked in real estate. While going through a difficult time in her life, she was admitted into a hospital overnight in December of 2005. While settling back into her life, she began having vivid dreams and documenting them. By the 3rd dream, a lady gave her a message to draw. With no artistic background or interest in art or history, Sally listened to her dreams and grabbed paper and crayons. Today, she has over 150 pieces of inspiring art and poetry. This book follows her journey and interpretations of these messages. She describes in detail how she's able to astral project and who she has met along her travels, including her spirit guides. This book will show you how anything is possible with an open mind. These events have changed Sally's life's direction, and this book will show you how to change yours. Purchase Call Me Zena on Amazon today.
You have been watching Call Me Zena with your host, Sally Barnard. As an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer, know that you could always seek me out for resources. Visit artbysallybarnard.com today. Now, back to the show. Hi, I'm back. Question time. Please call in. If anybody who is listening, if they want to ask me a question, the number is 888-994-4995.
Studio A.
Studio A. Please call in. I'm here right now. Anybody in the studio audience, please ask me a question. Thank you.
Hi, Sally. I'm sitting back here. I know I've got different guides that appear at different times. Who is my spirit guide with me today?
We're back to where I said this before, and she's coming through loud and clear. Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. And
Yes.
does she have a message?
Yes, she does. Let me see. She's very glad that we're acknowledging her, first of all, Dawn. I need to tell you that. Whatever you've been thinking about, and you'll know, I don't necessarily have to tell you what it is, but go with it, okay? Go with your first thought, with what you're planning to do. You are on the right track. Does that make sense?
In business or in family?
Actually, it's in business.
Yes.
It's in business. That makes sense. And they're coming very loud within business, okay? You're definitely on the right track. Your intuition, which obviously I do often talk about, is completely on track. So there may be people, and only you will understand this, that might try to divert you, and this is not Freddie, okay? I just want to make that clear. Divert you off the path of what you're thinking about. But it's actually beneficial for both you and Freddie to go forward with the cafe. This is really coming strong. You know what I'm talking about, is that correct? You do feel that you know what I'm talking about? There's
Yes.
one particular thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
summer seems to be a time that people pull back, but I'm feeling like I need to invest money back into what we do for a variety of reasons.
Yes, you do, Dawn. I don't, it's up to you to express what I'm saying. I don't necessarily want to air some of the things, but yes, it will take a little bit of money to move forward with this. But the proposition that you have and that you're working on is 100% great. It's where you're meant to be right now for both of you. For the cafe, for the people involved in this, you're not on the right track. Having said that, and this is important too, beware of, and we have talked about this too, I believe, of people that were going to come up with a negative point of view, or, and I'm not going to say a form of jealousy, but they wish they were more involved with that. Use your judgment. I often use the word intuition, but use your judgment on that, okay? And you have the answers along with Freddie of what you're doing. But you definitely, and I've said this before, but this particular project is on the right track, okay? Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
That's one of my guides.
And this is from Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, yeah. Beth. The way we say it is absolutely correct. It's Elizabeth. For some reason, she wants to be acknowledged that way. Okay? I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I just know that she's talking to me right now. And she's with you, Dawn. She's with you 100%. And she's telling me to acknowledge your daughter right now, okay, if that makes sense. She's with her absolutely and helping her and guiding her.
That's funny because my daughter's at the car dealership right now picking up a new car.
There you go. Okay? I'm getting goosebumps as you said that. She's there. She's here, but she's also there with your daughter, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Sally, you did say Sylvia was one of my guides.
Yes.
I remember the other one you told me was Alfie.
Alfred?
Alfie.
Alfie. Okay, I don't, because I am in a trance, although people aren't
I know,
aware
but
of
that just came to
Okay,
me.
thank you, because that brought Alfie in, and I have a recollection of that right now.
Because we talked about it where he was, the beard, he was sitting on the floor and he had brown hair. And I mean, he was heavy. I could almost see him.
Okay, so we're definitely on the right track, okay? You know that, okay? He's with you along with, and I'm getting the name Sylvia. Sylvia's coming through
Alfie is
very
my
strong.
guide.
Really? Well, he's sharing.
Have
you
you,
did-
Alfie? Okay. We had another
Really?
name. I
'Cause-
don't remember offhand what the name was that I believe that you related to, that was someone's guide, and I came up with it. They're here. I'm only the messenger giving the validation of these names. And of course, we have absolutely no way of knowing that because they're on the other side of the veil. But they will give us clues. So
You
to
said
speak.
somebody from India last time too. Helpy or something. That doesn't. I don't
Well,
relate
whatever
to
I
that.
said-
I don't relate to it.
Be it that I am in that trance.
Yeah.
It's real. It's very real
Yeah.
to me, which will be very real to you. Okay.
Maybe it'll
but we
come.
don't just have one guide. We have several guides.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So just be aware. If I give you a name, that's one of maybe 4 or 5 names of us. When I started my journey here, just to give you a little bit background on myself, I was astral projecting, and I had one guide in particular, and he was a male guide. And then he said to me, I'm passing you on to someone of my apprentice who's working with you. It was a female, and they gave me her name, and they said that her life on Earth was very similar to yours, but she was his assistant. I had no clue what they were talking about, but it was coming to me. I asked my guide, who was here in physicality, do guides have assistants? He said, of course. So I gave him the message. He says, well, she's working with your main guide, because I thought he was very male chauvinist, because he actually said to me in my astral projection, I don't have many women. And Aldo, who was here, he says, oh, he's just a male chauvinist. He takes women occasionally. So that was my actual understanding of what guides did, because I had no idea in my own, Sally had no idea what was happening at all.
Another question.
So, yes, please.
This is not what we've been talking about, but something's really been bothering me a lot, and it has to do with something completely different. My dog, she has nightmares, and she has nightmares, like sometimes it can go 2 a night, 4 a night, or right in a row or something, and it's the same nightmare every single time. She does, she cries, I see her whining, and then I see her tail go back and forth, and then I see a light growl, and then I'll go over and I'll hug her, I'll tell her everything's okay, you know, and to kiss her and not to be, and then she'll stop. But I am 99.9% sure it's from another life, because I got her at 10 weeks old, nobody could have hurt her in this life.
Okay,
And that's
what
what bothers
I
me.
feel that she's doing, I don't know necessarily if it was on another life, because I do believe dogs reincarnate, but she's actually helping you in another, that you have from another lifetime. It's not her, it's you. She's helping, she's sensing that, and I believe dogs can do that. So what she's doing, and you're dreaming it because she's able to only convey in a dream to you what's happening, and that's very real. But she's feeling that. This is really important. I want you to understand this as best you can, and so I'm very careful what I'm going to say. She's feeling that. She's taking on your lifetime. Does that make sense to you? From another lifetime. So what she's doing, she in actuality is carrying the burden of what you had. But it's okay. She can take it. Otherwise, she wouldn't be doing it. So we're going back into other lifetimes of yours. and let me see if I get this correct, okay? And she's taking away from this lifetime that you're not going to experience that. So when this happens, give her all the love that you're giving, because that's what she's doing for you. She's taking on, just like, and they're telling me a dog can take on your illness. If you have an
That I
illness,
heard, yeah.
a dog will take that away, and they will have the illness that you have, because they're here to help us. They're beautiful. They are angels, as you know that too, but they can't express because they can only do it through a dream. They can't talk like we're talking, but it's important that you understand that. Does that make sense to you?
I thought somebody was like really hurting her in another life, beating her. Or,
It's
and
you.
It's coming through.
It's not
Wow.
necessarily her life from other lifetimes.
my
She's sensing, like I'm doing right now,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, she's sensing. She doesn't want you to hurt. So she's taking
think
on
that's
that.
really unbelievable.
She's taking it away. Understand as best you can. And I hope I'm
Yeah, no, you are
explaining
making
this.
sense, yeah.
She's taking away from you what might hurt you in this lifetime, okay? She's drawing it into herself. She's here to serve and help you. She's a beautiful dog, as you know that, and you know that. Give her all the love, which you're giving, but
So
she's
I had
aware of
bad
that.
times in another life, you're saying? I
Well,
had
we all
something that was
have,
bad, yeah.
actually. But what's actually happening is that she's able to. Because if we can say a dog is psychic,
Yeah.
she is. I had a dog like that,
Right.
Sabrina, who actually understood everything. She would lay on her back while Alda and I were talking and understood as best. I know she understood what we were talking about. Not every dog has that, just like every human doesn't have it. They're not aware of it, but she is.
So when I go and hug her and kiss her and tell her it's okay, she doesn't have to worry about
No,
it? That's
do
it?
that as much as you can. It's really important, Sandy. Give her all the love and tell her it's okay. I'm glad you brought this up because it's really important for both of you, okay? I'm feeling this very strongly. Know that she's helping you, but she also wants to know that she's helping you. As
Okay.
much as you think, is she understanding? Yes, she is. She is understanding that. I'm glad you brought that question up. It was important.
That was important.
Sally, you've met my child, Axel.
Yes.
And you know that in many ways Axel is hurting. Do you see any spirits or guides around Axel that might be leading them into a better path?
Axel is getting a lot of messages, and actually, from what I hear, and I'm glad you asked me that too, because I'm at the point now that I'm in a trance that I'm able to tell you, he needs support. He needs support. Whatever Axel is today, that's okay. But he often hears these messages. It's really important to know that someone, because he will carry out some of the things that he's being told to do. But it's important that somebody understands him here. I may not remember what I'm saying to you, Steve, but it's really important. Axel needs help. It's not, I know it's he or a she, and
They.
I don't really want to necessarily bring that up, but it's very accepted today. Axel has to find a balance. Axel is giving messages. He's in touch, just like I am. Remember that he is too. He may not understand it. He's going through a lot right now, a lot. Don't disregard this. I may not even remember what I'm saying to you. Steve, don't disregard it. Be there to help Axel, please.
Do you see a specific path where we can be back together?
I do, but you both got to pull your own weight, so to speak. He's got to accept your help, but you also have to understand that he needs help. Now, that doesn't mean giving all yourself to him, just like he doesn't have to take everything you're saying as factual. But there has to be a balance. But if you don't have that communication, that's not going to happen. You can do your best. This is coming from me from a trance, okay? Please do your best. He needs you. He or she, I know, but they have gone through a lot without going into what Axel, because there are people on the airways that may be listening. Please be there. It may not make a difference, but at least they have an idea that you are there somewhere. It's important. And this is coming very strongly to me. It's very important.
Thank you.
Sally, I've been asking different people to come into the studio at different times because for some reason I've been feeling that different aspects of different energies, different souls, frequencies, whatever you want to call it, combined with others seem to be the wave of what I'm trying to accomplish. Can you explain to me what that means?
So hoping I'm getting this correct, Freddie. People come in here and they have ideas. Is that what you're saying?
Like I asked Lola to come in today.
Okay.
Well, I didn't. I asked her to come in. She picked today. And it just happened to be that some of the people that were here today, I didn't know they were going to be here. I wasn't even sure you were going to be here this afternoon. But it seems like the addition, and JC was here, the addition of what we do combined makes it for a more successful day.
I get it. I understand what you're saying. Yes, they're saying to me it's a combined effort. We have to voice. I mean, I love seeing Lola because we have a communication. We're on the same vibrational energy as you are, Freddie. So as long as this is not coincidental that there's not that many people in the studio, but everybody here, including yourself here too, is meant to be here. We have a combined effort. And this is what I have often said before, is our meeting place for these people. So when you feel that you may want to invite somebody in, we're energy, and that energy is going out to you to then transfer that onto the person, and you will be given a name as you were with Lola today. This is not coincidental that we're here. Nothing that happens here or even outside of here is coincidental, as long as you go with what you're feeling. If you want to suddenly call me in the middle of the week, and it's not a day that has happened last Wednesday, actually, that I'm not meant to be here, please let me know, because it's a combined effort. Does that make sense?
It does. So in essence, it's not something that I'm dreaming. It's actually gathering different, because I don't know why I asked Lola to show up, but I have said to her that when she comes, her frequency in here changes the mood of what's going on. And today was no exception.
You're absolutely 100% correct. And I don't want to say and give myself a pat on the back, but since I've been a year now, okay, and I think the people that are coming in, it's not just me, it's a combined effort, as I just said. We are bringing in the right people. We will find our balance here. So when you feel that, and Lola may know somebody else, as I might, or Steve might, who's here right now to bring someone, and Sandy, I'm not to leave you out either, that they're meant to be here because we're all following a path. And if we can meet in physicality here, which is, they say, you know, we put out a certain energy that reaches our vibration, the law of attraction, by all means, go with that and bring the people in. This is not coincidental. Lola, I'm not sure why you're here, but I'm here and we're talking, so that's important. But there may be other things too. It's not coincidence. You were right, Freddie, you were right.
Law of attraction.
A law of attraction. Yes, and it's happened. I mean, now a year of me doing this show, some of the people that I thought I would probably never meet, because what we talk about is not like everybody talks about this, and yet we're here. We're a perfect example, Lola. We're on the same vibrational energy. I'm sure you feel that, right? So it's...
But I also think that we should not filter out other people who are not in the same vibrational, because we all have bodies around us, physical, ethereal, mental, and so on, until we reach the top of the body, which is the essence, which is God, the source. So once we kind of like move away from all these bodies and the knowledge that we have within the information that we, like matrix of our personality, once we pass that and got into the top of the top spiritual body, everybody has it. So we become the ambassadors of love, and we see each other not as this or that, not your name, not your personality, not your career, but the essence of the divine.
But we need to talk about it, because that will bring in other people.
And even if we'll have not spiritual people right now in this room, they would vibe with us. They would elevate to that frequency.
You're perfect. That's perfect advice but if I didn't express here on the show of where I'm coming from, you wouldn't know. So the fact that we're on a vibrational energy, it doesn't mean other people aren't, or they're nearly there, or they may be beyond where I am. I try to be without ego because we all have this, obviously. But we will attract through verbalizing it into what we would call, say, into the earth right now. We're verbalizing it into this dimension. Will attract other people. It doesn't mean to say that someone sitting here is any less aware of it. They could be more aware of it. But what you said makes perfect sense. Yes. But we have to talk about it, because otherwise it's not going out into the universe. That was my word. I couldn't think of the universe. Into the universe right now. I think I'm getting to the end of the show. They just told me a few more minutes. So.
You got 10 more minutes. You're fine.
Oh, I'm fine. Well, maybe I matched. That must have been one of my guides telling me speed this up. Okay. Do we have another question?
Yeah. This one's kind of like personal, but you know how some people, they say colors are kind of important in our life. So what does the color blue, or like what does it attract? Because I'm always blue, anything. Like even with just like my schools, like the beacon of light, it always has something to do with like blue or water. Or
Well, the fact, yes, blue is your, they say, what is your color? Blue is your color. So let's say you were going after a job, or you're going back to school. What it will do is you will see, as you were saying, you will see blue. So you know you're on the right track. Or you might want to buy. Yes, you will see it. Even as simple as buying a sweater. That blue will help you. You'll see it, and let's say you're going somewhere that's important, wear that blue from the sweater that you bought, where the vibrational energy is that you're giving it. It's for you. Your color is blue. That's great that you know that.
Yeah.
Or if you're Keith Urban, you'll say, blue's not my color.
Well, we all have different colors, Steve, yeah. Blue happens to be my color, too.
Isn't that the aura?
Not from what I'm hearing from that particular, yes, it can be an aura, but from, if you're attracted to a color, let's say you're going on a job interview and you're looking for something, a dress to wear from a female's point of view, you see, and blue is your color, pick the blue dress, because when you go on that interview, that actually, although we may not be realizing it, is going to help you. The person looking at you too, the color blue at that point. Okay.
So you know how infatuated I am with my new great-grandson, Miles, and looking forward to meeting him for the first time in September, because he's in Okinawa. But can you see any spirits around Miles that might be guiding him into his future?
Okay, that's a good question, and the answer that I'm going to give you is we all have guides, whether we're 1 day old or 100. We have our guides around us. What actually Miles has going for him, which we lose sometimes, is a baby is there. They're in and out of this dimension. So when we're born, just to explain Miles, I'm not sure how old he is, 3 months?
3.5 months.
Okay. Yeah. They're still there, which is very interesting, because I knew that when my daughter had her children, I was very aware of that. And I would talk to them and say, I know where you are right now, but you're here right now. They're in and out of the two, let's say, worlds. They're from the other side of the veil, and yet they're still here. So he's being guided right now. So whatever is going on in his life here actually is very important. How they talk to him, how they express their love is very important. That applies to any baby, actually, not just Miles.
Apparently he's a very happy baby.
Because they're happy and they're talking to him and they're showing that happiness, and that's rubbing off on him. That's very important. And they're happy as a couple. Not, you know, I'm not here to say because I can't tell people as couples when they have babies behave well, but it is important because that love transfers onto the baby too.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Question out.
Sally, what's the most important message of the day? How does one interpret that with everything that comes through? with all the messages you get, what do you deem is the most important one of the day?
There is only real one big answer to that, Freddie, and we don't follow it, is love. Because that's, and I hear that so often, and I used to hear it, and it actually used to drive me crazy. But love is very unconditional love to one another. That's a really, really important message. It's not the love maybe necessarily for another person. It is and it isn't, but it's for everybody. That love unconditionally. Love for a dog. A dog gives unconditional love. We know that. We were just talking about that. Can we all be together with this? We can love one another. I believe that was a song. Love one another. It's so very important because after all said and done, this is, as I see it, an illusion, a game. But we have to, and I can't make people do this, love one another, respect one another. That's so important.
One more quick thing.
Someone called in.
Okay, what is the call?
Just say, are they open? They're open? Just say hello.
Hello.
Caller.
Hi, caller. What is your question?
Hello. Hello. You and I have met on a few occasions,
Okay.
and I'm a friend of the cafe, and this is Charlotte.
Hi,
And hi. And I know that you say that there are colors for certain things. Is there a color that somebody should have around them or wear for healing or for not being afraid of something that makes them afraid? I had a very bad car accident a couple months ago, and I need as many things as I can get in order for me to get to where I should be back to. So I wonder how you feel about that.
Okay, we actually have different colors. I'm feeling that purple is your color. It's a healing for you.
It's my favorite color.
Purple.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. That's what you're saying too. Do you feel that?
Yes.
Yes, I'm feeling that very strongly. So if you're hurting or from your accident or whatever it is, it's a healing for you. So carry something with purple, be it a ribbon, be it whatever it is. I'm hearing this very strongly for you. Keep it on you. Put it under your pillow. It will help you, okay? And I'm glad that you can relate to that because that's validation for you too. Keep that with you, whatever. Paint, get a paper and put purple on the paper and paint. Keep it with you in your wallet, wherever you go. Does that help?
Oh my God, yes it does. And of all colors to pick in the entire color wheel,
That's
you
your
picked out my
guide.
favorite color. This
Your
is
guide
wild.
told me to tell
This
you
is
that.
wild.
Okay, it wasn't coincidence that you called and I gave you the color purple. I'm able to, I feel that your guide is with me right now. I'm just transmitting the message, but that's the message for you, okay? And I wish you well. You're going to be
Thank you.
fine. You're going to be fine.
Thank you so much. It's so good to hear your voice. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you, and thank you for calling in.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Do I have time? I have one more question. Do you believe in karma?
Absolutely, but I believe in karma a little differently to how people experience karma. Karma is of our own making. It's like, and I've thought very deeply about this, and my guide here explained this to me. We come back many times, and people say, oh, we come back to experience karma. But karma is our own choice for our own journey. Let's say somebody did something to somebody. They may come back and they may not want to experience it, but we will continue in another lifetime or another. It could be 3 lifetimes from now. So karma is something to settle certain things in our life. If I was bad to someone, I'm just using this as an example, I may experience that. But I have also chosen to experience that. And that's very, very important. I can't tell you that I'm correct, but I feel very strongly about that in order to get rid of that karma. And I think you understand what I'm saying. Okay, yes.
And just to let your listeners know, if they wish to send you a private message, do so at callmezena1111@gmail.com.
Thank you, Steve. And I'm not really good at giving that out because in my trance, I don't remember. I don't remember what I'm talking about till I listen to the recordings on that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Is there any more questions in the
I
studio?
have one more question. The painting behind you, all these colors are so exotic. I mean, what was on your mind? This is like
Don't know. I don't know because I
such a
started to paint.
labyrinth of.
This is just one of many, Lola, and I have no idea. I feel this came through from the aliens. I'm looking at what's behind me, and I wasn't aware of that. You see those big eyes? That's an
yeah.
alien, okay? But I draw. I'm in a trance, which I used to do many years ago. I don't know what I'm drawing. I can put a canvas in front of me and all these very prominent colors come through. I don't know, and I don't know what I'm mixing because I don't understand art really, and yet I was able to do that. Yes, they all have messages.
It's very cool. I love
Thank
it.
you.
Sally, I got a question real quick. If people were to write in, if we were to ask them a specific question and we were to get a gathering of questions for the next show, are you able to answer them even though we're collecting that data during the week?
Yes, I absolutely can, because if you're getting the question, Freddie, you can still ask that question. I think it's important to get the name of that person that's asking the question, but I am able to do that. Yes, I can do that. It may
You want
be
the first and last name or just the first name?
first
and where
name,
they're-
first name, or maybe where they are. You know,
Okay.
let's say they're in Boca or wherever. If you give me, because I can tune into that, because through my messaging, and I have people that will validate what I'm saying, but it doesn't matter, that I'm able to give first and last names to that person. How am I getting that? It's because it's through a certain validation or wavelength. I can feel it as long as I can't get the name for that person, but if you give me their name, I'll be able to do it. Yes. Does that make sense? My guides are telling me I'm not making completely sense with that, but I think you understand what I'm saying, right?
Making
Good.
perfect sense. And before
Good.
you wrap this up, Sally's here every Monday at 2:30 on Call Me Zena. And the studio is open to any studio audience questions and call-ins.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, and please tune in next week. I'll be here, same time, same place. Thank you. Bye-bye. Coincidence or not, it's time to trust your intuition and knowings. Thank you for joining me through this journey of self-discovery and awakening with the help of my spirit guides. I'm Sally Barnard, and you can find my book, artwork, and contact through artbysallybarnard.com. Join us next week. This has been Call Me Zena.